The angel of the Lord appears to this sister who is on my monitor. See the message that the angel of the Lord left this sister. My brothers, the end of this world is close to us than we think. We are the generation of rapture. Jesus is coming back. I will come back later with my comments. I was sleeping when I heard a voice calling my name. When I heard that voice I woke up. I heard my name being called 3 times, and I heard the way the voice called me firmly Vivian, and the way he was calling me I thought it was my husband who was coming home from work. And I was now fully awake. I went to the ceiling and I saw a flash, and I thought, hey, it's already dawn. The light was on very strong and I thought I left the window open. I was still lying on the bed and raised my neck to look at the window. At that moment I saw a being that looked like a human being, but I knew it was an angel. He was very tall, he almost reached the ceiling. He was pure light. It was as if I was looking at the sun. He lightened all of my room as if the sun had risen inside my room. I couldn't see any details of his eyes, the nose, the mouth. I couldn't even see his hair. I just saw a lot of light and the contour of his body, in this case the contour from his head and his shoulders. And his dress was very long, and I looked from top to bottom and I saw that his dress covered his feet. I was very afraid and terrified of seeing that vision. In the fear that I covered my face with my arm and turned my head a little toward the wall because I didn't want to see, but he called me again, Vivian, look here, and then I was already sitting on the bed. I laid my gaze a little under my arm and I started to try to look at him. When I looked in his direction and he directed his arm to the side where the window was in front of the window and said, Vivian, look here. There was a banner that went to the ground, and inside this banner there was a large clock that had many letters written. There was text written on this banner reaching the ground, and it looked like a tongue that was made of strokes. It was not an alphabet like we know. It was a language I don't know, but I was very curious. Then he said, Vivian, look at the clock. But I was so curious about these writing, and he spoke more firmly. Vivian, look at the clock, and I looked at the clock. When he saw that I directed my gaze to the clock, immediately he told me, now tell me what time it is, and then I said it's 5 to midnight. He said, very well, it's 5 to midnight. He had the complete understanding what I wanted to say and of what I meant. I was in shock and put my hand in the chest. I went back and said, my God. Then he said, come with me. The meaning of 5 to midnight means that this is the time of your life. You're living the time where you will see the return of Jesus. He will return in this time of your life. And when he called me, come with me, immediately in the blink of an eye we were no longer there, but in another place. I think it was infinity. It had nothing, it was all dark, and the angel was the light in that place that he illuminated. There was nothing around me. He was a little further behind me, and I saw his light shining in mine surrounding. There in that place he spoke to me, Vivian, it's time to preach. And I immediately responded to him with arms crossed, preach what? And preach to whom? And then he told me, preach to believers and non-believers. You will preach so that they get ready because there are only 5 minutes left to midnight. And then I said to him, but they won't believe me. He said, really, you need to preach, and to those non-believers you will preach salvation. And then I said, how will it be? He said to me, I'll show you. And then I said, but where do I start? And he said, you're gonna start with your family. Come with me. We left that place. Suddenly I saw that we were at the gate of my parents' house. I called everyone and started shouting to my father, my mother and sibling. I said, look, I have something very important to tell you. I had a dream this morning and an angel came talk to me, and the angel said to me that only 5 minutes is left until midnight, and the way I said it everyone understood what I was trying to say. Jesus was going to come back and everyone will see the return of Jesus. And then they started laughing at what I was saying. Then my father said, so I see that you study eschatology. You studied so much that now you have dreams about the return of Jesus. I said, no, I'm talking about the angel that came to talk to me in the dream, and he said there are only 5 minutes left. And my mother says, look, Vivian, I will die in 100 years. Jesus isn't coming back. I was sad and my jaw dropped. I crossed my arms and spoke to the angel of the Lord, why aren't they believing what happened? And then he said, I'll show you. Close your eyes. I closed my eyes, and when I opened them, I saw all my family sleepwalking. They were doing daily activities with eyes closed. but they were washing the dishes, watching television and all the activities with eyes closed, and they were sleepwalking. And then I said, what is this? Why are they like that? He told me, Vivian, they are sleeping, but it's time for the church to wake up. They are that way because the distraction in life and television. The church time to wake up is now. Beloved sister, after this message I don't have much to say here. I will not repeat my sister's words again. God doesn't want none of us to be lost, but many are losing salvation. God is using young man, elders. God is calling our attention as much as possible. We are the generation of the rapture. The church has no more time. If you don't believe, it's okay, but whether you believe it or not, that's not what will interfere with the Lamb's return to this world. Jesus made it very clear that he will return.